Hey friends, welcome to the Flow Circle for June 2019. In past months, we have been covering individual drills that help out with different particular elements of stabilizing your poise spinning or even building up to unique tricks. This month, I'm going to take you through a series where we're going to use a series of skills to build up to ever more complex patterns with our poi. This is a technique that is a cornerstone of a class that I teach called Fundamentals of Tech. And in this month, I'm basically going to be teaching you guys a lot of the content from that class step by step, yeah? So we're going to start off this week with doing something called a linear extension. I'm just going to start off with the poi turning around my hand like this. And what I want to do is I want to start training my hand to move in a straight line with the poi moving around it, yeah? So, for instance, the first one I usually start with is just having the poi bounce straight up and down around my hand as it goes in a vertical line like this, yeah? Now, a lot of folks, like when they first start off with this, especially if their poi are lighter, kind of have this inclination to keep spinning the poi as their hand moves up and down. And I really want you to work against that tendency. I want you to think about if the poi is going up, your hand is going up. If the poi is going down, your hand is going down. There should be one downbeat to the poi. That is one point where it goes underneath your hand as your hand completes the line going up and down, yeah? Cool. Next up, we're going to do a diagonal line. That is, I want you to kind of move the poi back and forth between your left hip and your right shoulder. It's going to feel like a little bit of a tweak from this vertical line to the diagonal line. It's going to be almost like you're kind of shooting it a little bit off to the side because, well, you are. If it feels a little unstable, go back to this vertical line and gradually work your way further and further to each side as you're doing that straight line and everything, yeah? Cool. Next up, I want you to work with doing a horizontal line. Now, this looks much more complicated than it actually is. As you're moving from right to left, the poi just drags underneath your hand, easy peasy. And a special note for all of this, the poi is going to be turning clockwise for you. When you get over to the left-hand side of your body, you're going to kind of work your index finger underneath the tether, almost doing like a come hither motion, and flick the poi up and over your hand. So it's a drag one way and a flick the other, drag one way and a flick the other. And when you kind of speed up with this, you'll find that the momentum is working a little bit easier there. A lot of people find that when they start speeding up, the poi starts moving away from them in more of a horizontal fashion. If this is you, what I want you to do is when you give that poi the flick to get over your hand, aim for your nose. It's highly unlikely you'll actually hit yourself in the face, but it will get your plane up to that vertical spot where we want it to be. Yeah? Next up, we're going to try going back and forth between our left shoulder and our right hip. This to me kind of feels like I'm splashing water on somebody over to my left-hand side. It feels a little like the horizontal to me. For some reason, this diagonal feels to me a lot like the vertical, but this diagonal feels to me much more like the horizontal. I have no idea why that is, but that's how it works for me. Anyway, between your right hip and your left shoulder, imagining you're kind of splashing water on somebody who's off to your left, yeah? Scooping the water and splashing it on them, so to speak. Cool. So what I want you guys to do just to start off with this week, it's going to be like a relatively tame week in terms of doing these drills. I want you each and every day to do 10 of the vertical line, 10 of the diagonal line, 10 of the horizontal line, and 10 of the other diagonal. And next week, we're going to work on putting together shapes out of all these different pieces, yeah? Thanks for watching, and have a good one. Peace.